Hey, welcome back. So welcome to another review, another review, another review, another review. Alright, so let me talk about this paper for a little bit. This is my mixed media paper that I wrote with. So, well, this is my favorite mixed media paper. I like it. It's really, really thick. I believe it's 240. Let me double check. Nope, 223G. So 224G. Really, really thick paper. And this is what it looks like. It's really thick. It's almost as thick as water paper. It might as well be watercolor paper. But it has a different texture on the front. And if you look at this book, when you buy it, or if you buy it, you can see the texture on the front. On the back, the texture won't be there. It'll be a nice little smooth surface. But for the most part, it's almost like watercolor paper. And the reason why it's my favorite paper is because of how thick it is. I'll show you what it looks like with the tag on it. And I absolutely love to use this type of paper with pop-ups. I like using these because they're really, really small, but at the same time they have a lot of strength because of how thick they are. So I've been using them for the pop-ups for my mixtapes. Now, I know it's a little bit off because you're like, whoa, that's really nice paper. Why would you use the really nice paper for doing pop-ups that you're not really going to see and that you're probably only going to color one color, so you don't really need it to be, well, every time I look for a really thick piece of paper, it's either watercolor or it's like canvas, and I don't really want to cut up a canvas. And watercolor, mixed media paper is pretty good. Now, this one comes with 30 sheets, and since I'm using it on my mixtapes, which are roughly about 12 by 8, 12 by 9, 12 by 11, 14 by 11, or something like that. They are pretty generous. I don't need to use that much paper. I can cut it up and cut it up and cut it up to get what I need. So one of these could survive through all of my mixtapes. So that's why I decided to go ahead and use this paper, even though it only comes with 30 sheets. This is a 5 by 8, roughly, book. And I think it's even really, really good book for if you're doing sketches. So if you're a sketch artist and you just like to do sketches wherever you're going, just because you're going, I think this is a really nice size sketchbook for people who have mixed media in their blood. I'm like, if you want to try new mixed media, if you want to try mixed media or you want to do mixed media, you want to get paper that's going to hold if you put too much on it. So these are the stickers that I got from the post office. Don't tell them, but they fall apart when I put too much on them. Like the ash on the front of the mixtape book that I was doing. Grab that real quick. The ash, you can see that it's kind of falling apart. That it took in all that moisture and it just sucks it all up. That's why it got blurry at the bottom. That's why the pen itself kind of melted into the actual piece. Even though I used the pen after I thought it was dry. So after a day later is when I actually used the pen. And because you can see the pen was still slowly kind of dripping down. So that's what I mean. Anyway, if you're going to be doing mixed media and you're going to use all the lovely things like the Molotov cocktail, and you're going to use your acrylic paints, and you're going to do your copier markers, then you must have some type of paper that can hold all that material on it. And if I had to recommend it, it would be this one. Now I will say, I think it's Canson. Canson is known for making paper. Well, you know, good paper, obviously. That's why they are on every shelf, and that's why they're big time, big time. I will say that I've used several different generic ones before that I thought would make it, and they weren't bad, but they weren't as prestige as this paper is. And I've gotten rid of that paper. That's how much I did not like that paper. It's like I had to get rid of it. There's no point in me holding on to it because I wouldn't want to use it. And me as an artist, if I don't like the paper, I can guarantee you that I'm going to throw the paper out. If I don't like the paper after I've already put a piece on it, I am going to throw it out. That is how I feel, and that is how I operate. If I don't like a piece, it shows in my artwork, and when it shows in my artwork, then I gotta go in and do all this stuff to kind of hide it, and I'm just over it by then. So I gotta let it go. That's one of the largest reasons why it takes me so long to do my pieces. And then you see pieces where I kind of had this really cool concept, and you're like, Aaron, that's really cool, and that looks really detailed. And then you get to the other part of it, and it's like, oh, what happened? Well, it's because I stopped caring. I got the part that I liked and the part that I enjoyed, and then I kind of just fell off on the parts that I didn't like. And you can tell in the art and how I do it. And that's why I started my mixtapes, because I wanted to show my process and thinking and my ideas and how I go about doing my artwork. And depending on how involved in my artwork I am, that is what's going to, you know, decide on whether that's a good piece or not. Not for you, for me. And if I don't like it, I'm not sharing it. So this paper, Canson, mixed media. This one is slightly different than the standard that they use. This mixed media street art. That is awesome. If this is like a street art series, that would be perfect. But this mixed media Canson book is the bomb. And this is a heavier grade of paper than the standard. So I will do a review over the standard, because the standard is what I usually use, and the standard is what I usually use for my larger posters, is what I use for my 11 by 14s, because they come in so many more sizes. But as far as this thickness, I think this is only offered on the 5 by 8. Oh no, it's also the same thickness that I use in my mixtape paper. So my mixtape paper is also the same thickness. So I won't do a review over the paper that I use for my mixtapes, because it's essentially the same thickness. But that also goes back to why I can use so much paint on my mixtape pieces. So if you're looking at my mixtape pieces and you're like, well, Aaron, you're going to destroy the paper. Well, it's higher grade of paper is going to hold a lot more, and it's going to hold a lot better than, 170 or, 90. In fact, my Copic markers kind of run straight through the paper from 60 to 90 G. So if you're going to be using certain pieces, if I'm going to use my watercolors, I don't want to use it on plain paper. I need some type of thickness, and this is where it's at. So of course I'm going to put this in the description, along with my mixtape books, the paper for the mixtape books, not my actual mixtapes, but the paper for the mixtape books will be in there for your so you can get your hands on the same type of paper I'm working with. What else? I think that's it. Thank you for coming and seeing this next review. That it would be my paper that I use. I'll catch you at the next review. And I don't know what it is, but when I get there, these are just everyday materials I use. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for checking in. In the description, you'll find the shirts. In the description, you'll find a link to get this paper. And as always, most importantly, not only support your local artists, but practice and be present. You know, if you want to be an artist, be an artist. You want to open a business, open a business. Go to college, get your business degree, and open a business. If you are not working in order to create your dream, you are working to create someone else's dream. Don't know who said that, but yeah, I'm not claiming it. It's not mine, but I remember it, and it's a reality. So go out there and practice and being present. I'll catch you in the next one. Deuces.